All right, guys, welcome back here for another one. I am sharing two Voz Aviation videos, and what is happening in those videos is we have two aircraft on frequency with the exact type of airplane, exact type of call sign, and this should not happen within the National Aviation's airspace system at all. But I have two instances that Voz Aviation has pulled off from the ATC recordings and shared with us. So I'm going to share that because this is a part of our infrastructure falling down, which is why I have the video titled the way I do. But first, I want to share the job order 0.65 here, which is the Air Traffic Control Bible. And it's showing you how an air traffic controller is supposed to appropriately handle this situation here. Now, of course, when we watch the videos, you're going to see the air traffic controllers each handle it differently, but it is somewhat tied into this section here that's in chapter 2, section 4. Now, what it's basically saying here in this section is that a controller is supposed to let the pilots of those aircraft be aware, and the controller's acknowledging and making sure the pilots acknowledge, hey, there's an aircraft on frequency that has the same call sign as you. For example, here is showing you have a United Airlines plane, United 31, United, Miami Center, US Air 31 is also on this frequency, acknowledge. That pilot would acknowledge, and then the air traffic controller is supposed to move on to US Air 31, US Air, Miami Center, United 31 is also on frequency, acknowledge. So that way, US Air and United Airlines pilots are aware that, hey, we need to pay a little bit more close attention to our radio calls that are for us, because if I just only listen to the last numbers or so, because some pilots do that, if I only listen out for the last numbers or so, I might accidentally, I'm US Air, I might accidentally take on the instructions that are meant for United Air and therefore cause an accident. So that is what a controller is supposed to do, and that's what pilots are supposed to do as well, as we're all on the same page communication-wise. So let's begin with the videos, and let me show you what actually happened in these two scenarios where the pilots had exact call signs.
Departure Blue Streak 5383.
So this happened earlier this year. Let's begin.
4,700 on the 13,000 on the spoiler.
Blue Streak 5383, level departure, radar contact.
So right here, we have Blue Streak 5383. They're both CRJ9s. And one looks like they're on a departure, and I'm not sure what the other one is doing in this scenario, but you have one that is right now headed southeastbound, and it's at 5,000. You have one that's going northwestbound at 6,000. Same call sign, same exact type of aircraft, and this incident happened in April, so watch how the controllers take care of it.
Departure EPS 2320, 2,200, comment 13,000.
EPS 2320, level departure, radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climb via the SID.
Blue Streak 5383, descend and maintain 4,000, and your present heading till advised.
Descend and maintain 4,000, and present heading until advised, Blue Streak 5383.
You got two 5383s all in the frequency.
Oh, yes, that's what happened, y'all. Oh, you guys are going to get somebody killed. Here we go. Okay, so...
Flex live on the 6 line.
Hang on a minute.
So we're speeding up everything.
Blue Streak 5383 on the departure. You can contact Indy Center 124.77. Sorry for that confusion. They gave us two in the airspace.
All right, 12477 is Blue Streak 5383 on the departure.
Blue Streak 5383 on the star. Your present heading in 4,000. Fourth field in sight, 1 AMO.
Field in sight, present heading 4,000, Blue Streak 5383.
Blue Streak 5383, join the funnel north of downtown. Cleared visual approach, runway 17 left.
Okay, so now I understand what's happening. One Blue Streak is on the departure and one is on the arrival. So the one that's headed north westbound towards the airport that's been given the visual approach. That one's on the arrival. And then the one that you see on the bottom of the screen that's now pointed eastbound, they're been transferred to center, and they were departure, and they're heading out of the airspace. So this is bad. This could have been very bad. But the next scenario I'm going to show you could have been much worse, because these two aircraft were on converging flight paths, and it could have led to a collision if the controller hadn't intervened. So thank God they did, right? All right, so this one happened yesterday as of this recording of this video here.
Airport Sign Frontier 1896.
Frontier Flight 1896, Roger. Flighting 110, clear visual approach, runway 7 right.
110, cleared visual 7 right, Frontier 1896.
Alaska 632, contact tower 120, point honor.
1209, Alaska 632, good night.
Frontier Flight 1896, ready speed of 190 knots or less. Contact tower 120, point honor. Frontier Flight 1896, contact tower 120.
So for those of you who are not too familiar with air traffic control or looking at a radar, this is what I want you to notice. We have American Airlines 2482. We have two of them on the scope. Look for them, find them out, find out where they are. And what you'll notice is that once I hit play, you'll see it again, that they're both Boeing 737-800 series aircraft. One is on the departure and one is on the arrival, and they are flying on convergent air paths, like they're convergent routes, like they were going to cross. So I'm going to let it play out and pay very close attention to what the controller does and how they let this scenario play out and they fix it.
Point honor.
120.9, Frontier 1896. We'll see you.
American 2482, if you're up, radar contact, maintain 9,000.
Thought we checked in, but yeah, maintain 9,000, American 2482.
Roger that. Welcome aboard. I'm showing you at a 5,800. Is that correct?
I think someone just took that for us, but American 2482, we are 6,000, climbing 9,000.
All right. American 2482, American 2482 on the arrival. If you're on the arrival on the Eagle, you know what? Somebody else has your American 2482 on the arrival. I need you to maintain 10,000.
10,000 for American 2482 on the arrival.
And there's an American 2482 on a 0730 code. Is that correct on the departure?
Affirmative, climbing 9,000.
Roger. On the departure, I need you to maintain 9,000. Traffic 1 o'clock and 10 miles. Is your company same call sign out of 1,800 descending to 10,000?
Incredible. We're looking. Thank you. Inside, actually, American 2482 on the departure.
Departure low, Southwest 4938 out of 6,200 for 8,000.
That was 49 at 38, Phoenix at departure, radar contact, climb and maintain, flight level 210.
Climb maintain, flight level 210, Southwest 4938.
Look how close they are in altitude.
American 2482, the departure, traffic 12 o'clock and 3 miles is your company, 11,000 descending to 10,000, maintain 9,000 for the departure.
Board level 9,000 on the departure, traffic inside American 2482.
American 2482, the arrival at a 11,000, traffic south to your position, less than a mile, level at 9,000.
Traffic inside American 2482 on the arrival.
All right.
American.
All right, so that's it. Traffic's no factor anymore. You can descend via the arrival. All right, see how disastrous this could have been? This would have been in the news. The news would have had a field day with this one. It would have been like two Boeing 737-800 series of American Airlines, same call sign. I don't even know how many people would be in these planes. Definitely up to 150 apiece. This could have been really bad. So thank you for controller who was there for fixing this situation here. Did he do it like the way that the job order says you should do it? Not exactly, but I'm not someone who's very picky about, how things get done. We're happy that it was deconflicted and everyone stayed safe. So that leads me to one last thing I want to share with you guys. The FAA hires over 2,000 gamers to become controllers, which is really cool because there's a video game that I like to play, and I like to watch people play it in a way where they prove they understand the game metrics, the dynamics, and they understand it at a more technical level than someone who just goes in with the magic stick beating everybody up and just they go in brute force. And that game is called Kingdom Hearts. I like to watch people who cap it on level 1, and they go in and they show their technical expertise. So that I like people boo-boo on video game players and say that they just want to win and shoot to kill, and they get addicted to it and stuff. But there are video games out there to where if you play it a certain way, it exercises that part in your brain where you are exploiting technicalities, loopholes, reading the rule books, or you're thinking out of the box. And, that's what we need to be controllers. I got out of being a controller because it wasn't that part of safety wasn't my passion. I have another part of safety that's my passion, but I have a huge respect for these guys that work here. So congratulations to the FAA for doing something about the shortage. Some people might say, is this the best you can do? But I'm thinking something is better than sitting back and waiting for our infrastructure to fail completely. I hope that out of these 200 guys that they hire here, that we are able to keep more than half of them. We were able to keep a lot of these guys here, and that they could contribute to our national aviation system here, our NAS, and find things like not even similar, like the exact call sign arriving and departing at the same time. And they could see that these guys are going to be in the same airspace at the same time, and we can prevent things like that. Because what if that controller just, in both of those videos that I showed you, what if they just were tired or having a bad day, or their team members weren't there to help them out, or other people weren't paying attention? It could have been really bad. And that's that Swiss cheese theory there. So I'm glad that the FAA stepped up and they're hired some of these guys here, and that they're going to put them in this pipeline and get them streamlined to hired and put them in these towers that are hurting. And that, I hope they're up for the task, and that they're going to be, right here, these people who have the ability to think quickly, stay focused, and manage complexity. And, there's a lot of stress management in games too. There's like when you're trying to fight the big boss, I'm the person, I sweat when I'm stressed. So I can feel when I'm fighting. Let's say I'm gonna go to Kingdom Hearts again. So people who know this, like when I'm fighting Sephiroth, I start perspirating. Okay. I start sweating because I know he's not even like an actual boss of the game. He's one of like the extra bosses, but he's the one like, can you beat him? Or other names are going by. There's other names too, where when it's time to fight them, you're going to start sweating in your seat because, you have to be able to manage that stress, and you got to stay focused. So don't people boo-boo on video game players, but people who play video games proficiently, and they put them on, they're not afraid to turn up the difficulty level, and they're able to exploit their technical knowledge and their skills. Those are the people we want. So there's a lot of people who don't really understand what the FAA just did, but they definitely possibly hired a good bunch of people. I would say the only downside to video game players is, if they're the kind of people that never get out the house and they're not really used to talking to other people, they might struggle with the tower team or radar, the RAPCON team concept, like being a team member. But if they hired a lot of like-minded people, that might help. Like they'll find some commonalities. So there's a lot to work on here. But I'm glad that the FAA is doing something. So I didn't want the video to end on doom and gloom. There's going to be same aircraft crashing left and right and whatnot. I think the FAA is doing something to make sure that we can function, somewhat before things get too bad. So that's great. Awesome. All right. You guys have a good one.